Yeah, I gotta start looking at the camera. I know I do a lot of looking over to the side here. Sometimes I don't even make eye contact with the screen. That's an old bad habit of mine. Not very good at keeping looking at people when talking to them. And it gets worse when I get stressed. All right, so where are we at right now? This is Health and Wellbeing Week, the first inaugural. I don't know that one. What does that mean? I want to think about that more carefully. Okay, marking the beginning of an institution, activity, or period of office. An inaugural speech, especially one made by an upcoming U.S. president. So I guess we can call it the inaugural Health and Wellbeing live video creation. I love how that screen lights up my face when I do that. So I get the nice rosy red color of being in the heat all day with the lower light levels in here, taking it easy on my pasty pale face. But the light from the monitor is just spamming my face with white light from below. Nice. All right. So, health and well-being. I should probably put the mic closer to me too, huh? I don't know if there's a buzz in the background. That's probably the fan running because it was 85 degrees here today. So, yeah, we went from high 60s to mid 70s to mid 80s, and I'm having trouble adapting. It's too warm. It is too warm. Not ready. Not ready. And we're almost up on the point where we're in June, and I got so much to do in June. Thanks. I'm doing so much in June that I'm definitely gonna feel. I'm gonna feel just fried. I'm just completely gonna fry me. But planning stages of health and well-being. That's a different thing altogether. I thought I had some plans for this. I think I got started last night and I got distracted. All right, so let's hit this starting now. So, health and well-being. So I talked last night a little bit about some of the ideas I had for stuff I wanted to do. So looking at something along the lines of a default diet, default fitness, I don't know that there's a need for something like a default mental health category. I know I'm leaning into I don't know that there's a call for a default mental health category because you are what your default is. Fitness and diet. So what I need to do is make sure that I get a healthy mix. Micro and macro nutrients. And my fitness level should be, let's be honest, I've been pretty sedentary, so a fitness level of moderately active would be high compared to what I'm doing now. So I think what we're aiming for is slight activity. Let's see, where is my data? Where is my data? Okay, so activity level, sedentary office job, nope. Light exercise, 1 to 2 days per week. Okay, if we set that as my default, light exercise, 2 days a week as my default. So the way I'm looking at it, potentially doing this as we go forward, is I want to do something along the lines of, is a calorie a calorie? So on a given month, I will do same calories, get my micro and macronutrients from as low a calorie sources as I can, possibly just doing it as bioavailable supplementation, and then consuming calories only in the form of, and have like 3 different months, because the macronutrients you're talking about carbohydrates, fats, and protein. And so if you do a month where the only caloric intake I get, say 2,000 calories per day for a month while doing light exercise, my total macronutrient, as much of my macronutrients as possible and as safe from protein. And then do a month like that where it's the same thing but fat. And then do a month where the same thing but carbohydrates as the primary caloric source. Now, if you do something like a carbohydrate heavy diet, your body's going to suffer consequences from not enough of the omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids. So you want to supplement those. And like I say supplement, but like you need to include some of those, like the oils in a salad dressing or something like that. So if I'm trying to do, like I could do an oil mix on pasta with a sweet and sour sauce or something like that. I don't know. And, try to maintain at least the bare minimum of fat and protein intake on the carbohydrate month, the bare minimum of carbohydrate intake, which honestly, as near as I can tell, you don't have to have any carbohydrates. Like your body won't suffer from the loss of them for a month. You will feel it at one point early on where you do that, and you will have people who do keto call it the keto fluid, but what it is you've used your glycogen storage. You've consumed that within about 36 hours of cutting all carbohydrates. And after that, it's just, you feel weaker because of that. So I guess there is a threshold of like, what do I need to do to replenish my glycogen storage every day? Could I alternate days so that I deplete them or replenish them, deplete them, replenish them, so that I keep them running as close to the bottom of the charts as possible without necessarily compromising my ability to handle carbohydrates. And then like the fat, the funny thing about fats is they're so calorically dense that like a tablespoon of, I think it's like a tablespoon of canola oil has as many fats in it as, or has as many calories per tablespoon of canola oil as like 4 Oreo cookies. Now, I don't know about you, but I would rather eat an Oreo cookie than a tablespoon of canola oil. Like, there's nothing like vegetables that I stir fry in a pan. I can stir fry them in a pan without any real oil. I can caramelize them on a pan surface, toss in a little water, get them to simmer for a little bit so that they don't burn on the surface, enough to soften them, steam them a little bit, and then just sear them. That works. And it doesn't add 110 calories for a tablespoon of oil in that pan. But I don't usually worry about that. My diet is one such that it's not something that comes up very often. But the awareness of like, if I do 2,000 calories a day in carbohydrates, that's liable to be, especially if I avoid like high sugar and go more for more complex carbohydrates. Like, you could probably eat like 5 baked potatoes and like 2 sandwiches with bread in a day and really only start to touch that 1,500 calorie mark. But fat, it's just like, if you're eating heavily high fat food content, you're going to hit you're going to have some digestive problems right away. Like, if like things that are high in fat, like maybe like high fat beef and high fat like nuts, so like peanut butter, like oil on some vegetables, like, I'm not like cheeses, meats, nuts. Like, essentially at that point, I think the best I could do is really kind of measure out what's the highest fat content things. Because the trick is, if you're doing high fat meats, you oftentimes get pretty high protein with that too. Even cheeses, like cheeses and butter, they're higher fat, but they have protein in them. The trick is getting high fat, as low protein and low carbohydrate as I can, while still getting supplements for nutrients, and that'll be for like a month. And then when I'm done, switch back to my default base diet for like a week to allow things to readjust back and any residual effects from the high fat diet to settle out. And then, maybe go into, I may alternate so that I do the like a high fat diet. Then for a month, I'll give a week break. And then for a month, I'll do a cardio exercise dominant. And then I'll do a high protein diet. And then a week off, like a week off between the cardio and the protein. Do I need to? It might be wise to do it anyway. So do cardio, diet change, week off, exercise change, week off, diet change, week off, and then do like high intensity workouts, week off. Then I think it's like, so I did the fats, carbohydrates, and protein, and then cardio, high intensity, and plyometrics, I believe is the phrase for it. So it's going to be 6 months of types of fitness for diet and exercise changes with that's 3 categories each, with a week between each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks off, which is a little bit more than a month. So this is 7.5 months of, well, if I do 4 weeks, it'll be about 7 months total. Because I can see like in 6 months, you're going to have 4.5 weeks each month. You're going to have 3 weeks that are going to come out in extra time off. And then a little bit of that extra time off would be that 7th month. So 4 weeks time off plus 2 weeks in between. Yeah, I don't know if I'm making that clear, but basic idea is 7 months. So if I start in, so if I say I start in August, if I start doing this in August, it'll be August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So it'll be about end of February when I'm finished up, maybe early March with that round of exercises. So that seems like a really long time. That'll be interesting to see what that's like. And then I feel like those weeks off, I can ascribe to, I should really pull up the calendar and take a look at it. So if I really kind of start to crunch the numbers in a way that makes sense, planning ahead. So August, if I start on the 4th of August and I do 4 weeks of carb dominant diet, in August, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should fit the 4th through the 31st, would be 4 weeks. Then I can take the 1st through the 7th as the break week. And then it's the 8th through to the 5th, where I would try something like a cardio based. And then the 6th of October through the 2nd of November would be something like a protein heavy diet. And then the 3rd through the 9th would be a week off. And then the 10th through the 7th of December would be a high intensity workout. And then a week off would be the 8th through the 14th. And then it's the 15th through to the 11th of the new year. Man. And then a week off. This is a little messy. I'm not really digging this. I'm not digging this well. Let's backtrack here. That's a really messy way to do that. So I'm thinking instead what I'll probably try to do is July. I'll start on the Sunday before July 1st. July through July, well, I guess June 30th through July 27th. Do a carb dominant diet. And then take the 28th to the 3rd for the week off. And then do high intensity, cardio for the 4th through to the 31st. And then September 1st to the 7th is another week off. And then September 8th through to October 5th would be the protein heavy diet. And then the 6th through the 12th is off. And then the 13th through to the 9th of November is high intensity workout. And then 10th to the 16th is off. Then the 17th through the 14th of December, and then a week off. It's still very messy. Let me go back. Do I need to take those weeks off? It throws everything off. I might not even do a full month for some of these things. I think it might make more sense for me to do like a 28 days is 4 weeks. 7, 14, 21, 28. So 4 weeks per, and then whatever's left over, use that for the break. I think that makes the most sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then so if I start on June 30th, I'll have 4 days off at the end of July. And then June would be 3 days off to start it, I guess, because I want to start on and then 4th through the 31st being cardio dominant. And then September, the 1st through the 28th being fat or protein, and then 2 days off. Maybe even the whole week off for the rest of the week that starts in October. I can let that one go. If I do, I don't know. Well, I may end up starting early before a Sunday in October, because to get 4 weeks by the end of the month on the 31st is a Thursday. So yeah, I may just aim to do health and well-being. Oh, that's right. This is something that happens as a set week at the end of every other month. Crap. Okay, so where we are right now is, I went too far. So we're on the 26th of May. And so we're going to the 1st of June with this planning and strategy. And then nothing for June on health and fitness week category. But by the end of July, 1, 2, 3, 4. So by the 21st of July is the next week of, am I right on that? Let me go back. So it's such a mess. This is why I need to plan this stuff, because this is a mess. Okay, so I've made this more complicated than it needs to be. Of course I have, because that's my modus operandi. Okay, so today's the 26th. We finished this week on the 1st. Then June 2nd is writing. 9th is video. 16th is game design. 23rd is product and service. 30th is food. 7th is art. 14th of July is video game. And then 21st is health and fitness again. And so for the 21st of July, to start initiating the process of what I do. So that one's going to be the start of a, do I want that to be the start? Or do I want that to be the end? So if I start on June 30th with the carb-focused diet, 1, 2, 3, 4, by the end of the 27th is the end of 4 weeks for the diet change. And then I think what I'll look at, I'm going to skip some of these breaks because I don't know that they make sense. So at the end of July, where the 21st of July should be a health and well-being week. And so I'll be able to update as I finish my carbohydrate heavy time period and maybe start my cardio period. And during that week. And so cardio would be 21st, 28th, 4th, and 11th. And then a week off. And then when's the next? That's the important thing to keep track of. I'm really bending my brain here because it's not up to this tonight. So if I do 21st to 27th is health and well-being. maybe take the 28th through the 3rd off, and then August 4th through 10th is writing. Video 11th to 17th. Game design 18th. Product and service 25th to the end of the month. Food the 1st of September. Music the 8th. Video games the 15th. And then the next health and well-being is the 22nd of September. And at that point, I should be finishing a dietary routine and starting a fitness routine. All right, that makes sense to me. So I need, like, each of these weeks that I do should be the end of one, probably a diet, and the start of a fitness. And so I can do that back and forth a little bit. So that makes a little bit of sense to me. And any time in between those sets used for a break. All right, so what I need to do is go back through the calendar here. So July, let's start crunching this here. All right, July, or June 30th to July 27th for diet. And 21st is the start of a fitness. So let's just start writing this down. This, because keeping it all in my head is a little bit of a trick right now. June 30th, start carb-based. And then the 27th, June 30th to 27th of July. July 27th is carb. Nope, that's not how you spell that. All right. Carb base. And then the 21st. Did I do that right? Come on, there you go. We can do this. Okay, so 21st to 27th, yes. 21st to 27. No, not to 27th. We need 4 weeks of that. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. So 21st, 28th, 4th, and 11th. So I will finish on the 17th of August. For cardio focus. Cardio focus? Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. And then the next one has to be, let's punch that schedule, was brain fart. Okay, so next week is writing, video. So not the 2nd, 9th, and then 16th is board game. 23rd is product and service. 30th is food. Music is 7th. Video games is 14th. And then 21 is health and fitness. So from there, 28th is maybe a week off. 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th. And then 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd is when I have to finish the second round. So what we're looking at there is September 1st to September 22nd is going to be fat-based. Let's just go fat-based diet. And then to the 28th, sorry. I messed that up. Go back. It's 4 weeks, not ending on the 1st of the last week. So that's 28th. And then September 22nd to, so I start do I do pleo metrics? Sure, we'll play with that. I can always swap them around. So pliometrics, and then I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing at certain points in the year where it makes the most sense. Because if I'm traveling in July, I could say, like, we could do the fat-based diet or the protein-based diet. But in truth, if I'm leaving at the end of June and I'm traveling through July out to California and then back from California for 3 weeks, during travel time, the thing I'm most likely to have access to while traveling to eat that will travel well is a carbohydrate-based diet. So breads, crackers, possibly pastas, and those types of things. Those are more likely to be accessible to me while I'm traveling, so it makes the most sense to do that while I'm traveling. When I get back in August and early September, I won't be going as many places as often, and I'm pretty sure a high-fat diet is going to disrupt my digestive system enough that I wouldn't want to be caught on the road with some of, like, I've heard from people who have done keto diets that they said one of the funniest things I ever heard was a young woman who said, I started a keto diet like 3 weeks ago, and here's some of the pieces of advice I'll give you. Never trust a keto fart. It's a little graphic, but it brings home the point that a high-fat diet tends to wash through your system fast. And so knowing I already have a digestive system that's sensitive to things going through quickly, that'll be ideal for the timeline of back from traveling, doing as little going anywhere as possible makes the best sense. So fat-based probably works best for end of August, early September. The question I have in mind is like things like plyometrics versus high-intensity workout. High-intensity workout stuff is going to be harder for me to do in environment. Well, maybe. I may switch that around. High intensity might be possible for me to do at a time where I'm not going to have the time to devote to, like a 2-hour workout. Because that's like a high intensity interval training. You generally do that for like a 20 or 30-minute time frame and then you're done. Whereas cardio you can do for like an hour. And to maintain a light to moderate exercise routine. If you go hard, you can do them for an hour. High intensity, their focus isn't how long during the day can you do it. And then plyometrics is more about explosive energy workouts, so jumping and explosive lifting and that kind of stuff. And that you're going to spend more time doing than a high intensity workout. So figuring out like where is my schedule likely to have more time, and if I'm going to be as broke as I imagine I'm going to be come August and September, I'm not going to be going anywhere and I'll have the time to do things. But working, like the job that's likely to get me the most recovery financially, is likely to be working for the post office for the winter. And that's going to be something that I'm going to be putting in extra shifts of time that'll eat into the time I have to do things. And so shorter workouts may make more sense when I'm busy all during the week. So I have to figure that part out. But for right now, just for planning phases, September 22nd, plotting out the fitness that I start on the 22nd and do 4 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 13. So on the 19th, I believe is so September to October 19th. Is Plio, and so that's going to be, so let's go back and say, so the 22nd is the health and fitness week, health and well-being week. So then a week off, and then the 6th through to the 2nd of November. The 6th of October through the 2nd of November would be writing, video, board game, product and service. And then the 3rd, 10th, and 17th are going to be food, art or music, video game. And then the 24th through the 30th is our next health and well-being week. So November 24. So I will start that on the 3rd. So the 3rd to the 24th of November is protein-based. And, oh no, to the 30th. 3rd to the 30th. I keep doing that wrong. 3rd to the 30th. Okay, so, and then November 24th through to December 21st is going to be high intensity interval training. And then I get Christmas week off. It's 22nd through the 28th is my week off from that stuff. And that will finish off the sets of 3. And on that week off, I can do the follow-up report to the fitness and dietary changes. So 22nd to 28th, I'll put that down in. Okay, and so those are sort of all like, those are the live week reports on some of that. I may go through and do some edit information for the edited videos during some of that time. But that gets me all the way to the end of the year. And it's nicely at the end of the year too. And leaves me time to do a year recap for the 29th, 30th, and 31st into New Year's and start a new year. And that'd be kind of cool. I think that's about the right makeup for how to do this. So June 30th, I start my carb-based dieting. And I finish that on July 21st. Or July 27th. Yeah. And then I start cardio. I may have to do some warm-ups to get myself into a point where I'm ready to do cardio for like every day of the month. I got to figure out what my cardio routine is going to be. So I'm going to have to figure out what my diet is going to look like. Like, I know I'm going to do carb-based while I'm traveling. I got to figure out my calorie count, what I need to do for my base nutrition, what I need to do for my base fitness, and because my fitness is going to run, so like when I do cardio, I'm going to be doing cardio from July 21st to August 17th. So I will be doing my base diet from the 27th of July to the 1st of September when I switch to a fat-based diet. And when I hit August 17th, I will stop cardio and switch to my base fitness routine, which will be a light exercise 2 days a week. So there will be a chunk of time where I'm on the base formats. So I need to figure out what the base formats are, how I'm going to handle nutrition, and what I want to aim for the calorie counts each day. This is going to be weird. I'm going to be doing this for the next 6 July, August, September, October, November, December. So I'm going to be doing it for 6 months. My diet is going to be either a unique routine, and then my fitness routines are going to be on again, off again, new routines. And they're going to be breaks in between. So that's interesting. This is going to be a very interesting half a year. I'm getting a little laggy here, so I think my computer's freaking out. But all right, so we're coming close to about an hour tonight. We're 50 minutes in. I think what I need to do for tomorrow is start discussing figuring out what the caloric daily intakes are supposed to be for intake, and calculate what kind of caloric or time-based marker to hit for the fitness each day of fitness. And then really kind of plan that out as a daily kind of to-do with alternatives. My tendency is, especially when I'm going to be doing traveling, I don't have to do a fitness routine until July 21st. So July 21st, I should be back from California. So it won't be as hard on me to try to figure out how to include like an hour of cardio or something like that. Yeah, that's doable. All right, so I need to figure out what the hour and exercise routines for each of them are, and it may be that, doing an hour of cardio, if I do running every day for an hour or something like that, that would risk injury to myself. So I may have to see if I can do alternative cardio exercises that target different areas, that, like, if my legs are just destroyed after the first day of doing it, then I can do some cardio with my upper body, and then day 3 do some mid-body cardio, and then like day 4 switch back to legs. So you give time for recuperation on a certain area. So I got to figure out like what routines make the most sense, space them in an appropriate way, and I got to look at what my food is going to look like while I'm doing the carb-based traveling diet, and plot that as much as possible to get enough food to last me the day, giving me the nutrients I need. Yeah, so tomorrow that's the goal, is to sort of figure out, maybe pick one, either the fitness or the dietary differences. Maybe I could just do, let's see, we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to plan. So I could do, I got 6 more days. I may just do the plan for the carb base and a default diet base. And then Tuesday, the cardio and the default fitness base. And then Wednesday, keto. Thursday, plyometrics. Friday, protein. And Saturday is going to be the high intensity interval training planning, and then summary at the end of the week. That seems like a workload. I may space out the default baseline diets and exercise gradually over the week so that's not so much in the next 2 days. All right, so I need to go do some thinking and calculating on this. Call it a night. Thanks for joining me. Take care of yourselves and have a good night. It's going to be an interesting 6 months. It's really going to be weird. All right, so end stream.